Bigfoot, also commonly referred to as Sasquatch, is a purported ape-like creature said to inhabit the forests of North America. Many dubious articles have been offered in attempts to prove the existence of Bigfoot, including anecdotal claims of sightings as well as alleged video and audio recordings, photographs, and casts of large footprints. Some are known or admitted hoaxes. Tales of wild, hairy humanoids exist throughout the world, and such creatures appear in the folklore of North America, including the mythologies of indigenous people. Bigfoot is an icon within the fringe subculture of cryptozoology and an enduring element of popular culture. The majority of mainstream scientists have historically discounted the existence of Bigfoot, considering it to be the result of a combination of folklore, misidentification, and a hoax, rather than a living animal. Folklorists trace the phenomenon of Bigfoot to a combination of factors and sources, including indigenous cultures, the European wild man figure, and folktales. Wishful thinking, a cultural increase in environmental concerns, and overall societal awareness of the subject have been cited as additional factors. Other creatures of relatively similar descriptions are alleged to inhabit various regions throughout the world, such as the skunk ape of the southeastern United States, the Alma's, Yeren, and Yeti in Asia, and the Australian Yowie, all of which, like Bigfoot, are ingrained in the cultures of their regions. Bigfoot is most often described as a large, muscular, and bipedal ape-like creature, covered in black, dark brown, or dark reddish hair. Anecdotal descriptions estimate a height of roughly 1.8 to 2.7 meters, which is 6 to 9 feet, with some descriptions having the creatures standing as tall as 3 to 5 meters, 10 to 15 feet. Some alleged observations describe Bigfoot as more man-like, with reports of a human-like face. In 1971, multiple people in the Dalles, Oregon, filed a police report describing an overgrown ape, and one of the men claimed to have sighted the creature in the scope of his rifle, but could not bring himself to shoot it because it looked more human than animal. Common descriptions also include broad shoulders, no visible neck, and long arms, which skeptics describe as likely misidentification of a bear standing upright. Some alleged nighttime sightings have stated the creature's eyes glowed yellow or red. However, eyeshine is not present in humans or any other known apes, and so proposed explanations for observable eyeshine off of the ground in the forest include owls, raccoons, possums, or something similar to that. Michael Rugg, owner of the Bigfoot Discovery Museum in Northern California, claims to have smelled Bigfoot, stating, "Imagine a skunk that had rolled around in dead animals and had hung around the garbage pits." The enormous footprints for which the creature is named are claimed to be as large as 610 millimeters, 24 inches, and 200 millimeters, 8 inches wide. Some footprint casts have also contained claw marks, making it likely that they came from known animals such as bears, which have 5 toes and claws. The Stuthum cast is a plaster cast showing the imprint of what appears to be a large animal's left forearm, hip, thigh, and buttocks. It was discovered in a muddy wallow near Mount St. Helens, in southern Washington state. Some believe the cast is from Bigfoot. The cast was taken on September 22, 2000, during a BFRO expedition to the Stuthum Meadows area of the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in Washington state. There was also evidence of 17-inch human-like footprints found in the area. The cast, which measures 3.5 by 5 feet and weighs approximately 400 pounds, is of a partial body imprint left in the mud. The Stuthum cast is a plaster cast showing the imprint of what appears to be a large animal's left forearm, hip, thigh, and buttocks. It was discovered in a muddy wallow near Mount St. Helens in the southern part of Washington state in 2000, and is argued by some to have been made by a Bigfoot. The cast was taken on September 22nd, 2000, during a Bigfoot Field Research Organization expedition to the Supa Meadows area of the Gifford Pinchot National Forest in Washington State during their filming of the Animal X TV show. Researchers filming for the show left fruit in a muddy wallow overnight, and an imprint was discovered the next morning. The cast, which measures 3.5 by 5 feet and weighs approximately 400 pounds, is of a partial body imprint left in roadside mud. Skookum is a Chinook jargon word that has historical use in the Pacific Northwest. It has a range of meanings commonly associated with an English translation of strong or monstrous. The word can mean strong, greatest, powerful, ultimate, or brave. Bigfoot has a demonstrable impact on popular culture and has been compared to Michael Jordan as a cultural icon. In 2018, Smithsonian Magazine declared interest in the existence of the creature is at an all-time high. According to a poll taken in May 2020, about 1 in 10 American adults believe that Bigfoot is a real animal. The creature has inspired the naming of a medical company, music festival, sports mascot, amusement park ride, monster truck, a Marvel comic superhero, and more. In 2022, a Bigfoot named Legend was selected as the official mascot for the World Athletics Championships being held in Eugene, Oregon. October 20th, the anniversary of the Patterson-Gimlin film, and is considered by some as National Sasquatch Awareness Day. Laws and ordinances exist regarding harming or killing a Bigfoot, specifically in the state of Washington. In 1969, in Skamania County, a law was passed making killing a Bigfoot punishable by a felony conviction resulting in a monetary fine up to $10,000 or 5 years imprisonment. In 1984, the law was amended to a misdemeanor, and the entire county was declared a Sasquatch refuge. Whatcom County followed suit in 1991, declaring the county a Sasquatch Protection and Refuge Area. In 2002, Grays Harbor County, Washington passed a similar resolution after a local elementary school in Hoquiam submitted a classroom project asking for a Sasquatch Protection and Refuge Area to be granted. In 2001, Representative Justin Humphrey, in an effort to bolster tourism, proposed an official Bigfoot hunting season in Oklahoma, indicating that the Wildlife Conservation Commission would regulate permits and the state would offer a $3 million bounty if such a creature was captured alive and unharmed. In 2015, world champion taxidermist Ken Walker completed what he believes to be a lifelike Bigfoot model based on the subject in the Patterson-Gimlin film. He entered it into the 2015 World Taxidermy and Fish Carving Championships in Springfield, Missouri, and was the subject of Dan Wayne's 2019 documentary, Big Fur. Some have been critical of Bigfoot's rise to fame, arguing that the appearance of the creature in cartoons, reality shows, and advertisements further reduces the potential validity of serious scientific research. Others propose that society's fascination with the concept of Bigfoot stems from human interest in mystery, the paranormal, and loneliness. In a 2022 article discussing recent Bigfoot sightings, journalist John Keelman of the Chicago Tribune states, as UFOs have gained newfound respect, becoming the subject of a Pentagon investigative panel, the alleged Bigfoot sighting is a reminder that other paranormal phenomena are still out there, entrancing true believers and amusing skeptics. In the 2018 podcast Wild Thing, creator and journalist Laura Krantz argues that the concept of Bigfoot can be an important part of environmental interest and protection, stating, if you look at it from the angle that Bigfoot is a creature that has eluded capture or hasn't left any concrete evidence behind, then you just have a group of people who are curious about the environment and want to know more about it, which isn't that far off from what naturalists have done for centuries. Bigfoot has been used in official government environmental protection campaigns, albeit comedically, by entities such as the U.S. Forest Service in 2015. The act of searching for or researching the creatures is often referred to as squatching. Popularized by the Animal Planet reality series Finding Bigfoot, Bigfoot researchers and believers are often called squatchers. During the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, Bigfoot became a part of many North American social distancing promotion campaigns, with the creature being referred to as the social distancing champion and as the subject of various internet memes related to the pandemic. According to Live Science, there have been over 10,000 reported Bigfoot sightings in the continental United States, which is the lower 48. About one-third of all claims of Bigfoot sightings are located in the Pacific Northwest, with the remaining reports spread throughout the rest of North America. Most reports are considered mistakes or hoaxes, even by those researchers who claim Bigfoot exists. Sightings predominantly occur in the northwestern region of Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and British Columbia, Canada. Other prominent areas of supposed sightings include the rural areas of the Great Lakes regions and the southeastern United States. According to data collected from the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, the BFRO, Bigfoot sightings database in 2019, Washington has over 2,000 reported sightings, California over 1,600, Pennsylvania over 1,300, New York and Oregon over 1,000, and Texas has just over 800. The debate over the legitimacy of Bigfoot sightings reached a peak in the 1970s, and Bigfoot has been regarded as the first widely popularized example of pseudoscience in American culture, because science still denies that Bigfoot exists. Many regions have differentiating names for the creatures. In Canada, the name is Sasquatch, which is widely used, although it's interchangeable with the name Bigfoot. The United States uses both of these names, but also has numerous names and descriptions of the creatures, depending on the region and area in which they are allegedly sighted. These include the skunk ape in Florida and other southern states, grassman in Ohio, falcon monster in Arkansas, wood booger in Virginia, the monster of Whitehall in Whitehall, New York, Momo in Missouri, Honey Island swamp monster in Louisiana, Dewey Lake monster in Michigan, the Golden monster in Arizona, the Big Muddy monster in southern Illinois, and the Old Men of the Mountain in West Virginia. The term wood ape is also used by some as a means to deviate from the perceived mythical connotations surrounding the name Bigfoot. Other names include Bushman, Tree Man, and Wild Man. States with the most Bigfoot sightings are Washington, California, Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio, Oregon, Texas, Michigan, Missouri, Illinois, Utah. Among other states, and Bigfoot is also known to build stick structures. Some of the pictures I'm showing are stick structures that are supposed to have been built by Sasquatch. Using never before released data from the Bigfoot Field Research Organization, the Travel Channel has compiled a list of the 8 best states in the U.S. to see the legendary Bigfoot. Perhaps you'll even get a glimpse of Sasquatch tripping over an irrigation pipe after attempting to steal a pig, as he reportedly did in 2017. A combination of terrifying eyewitness accounts, recently uncovered anthropological evidence, and a possible government cover-up of a Bigfoot being held in captivity prove that we still have a lot to learn about this mysterious creature. Travel Channel wrote in a March 29 blog post, These new findings lead to a hunt for the legendary primate using the most cutting-edge science available, which produces shocking DNA evidence of its existence. Washington State tops the list with 2,032 confirmed sightings and counting, making it the world's most active region. The blog post stated, "Of particular note are the Blue Mountains in Okanogan County, which the Travel Channel wrote is the locale of one of the most aggressive Bigfoot encounters ever recorded." Home to 1,697 confirmed sightings, California is second on the list. The state is the location of the most famous purported footage of Bigfoot, the Patterson-Gimlin film, as well as the Jerry Crew sighting, which gave the legendary creature its name. He made casts using some of his construction equipment, and eventually the story reached the media. Travel Channel wrote in the post, "The newspapers named this creature Bigfoot." Following California is Pennsylvania, with 1,340 confirmed sightings, and Michigan, with 1,131 confirmed sightings. Rounding out the list are New York, with 1,068 confirmed sightings, Ohio, with 1,024 confirmed sightings, and Oregon, with 1,009 confirmed sightings, and Texas, which has reported 806 sightings. Last year, a New York town adopted Bigfoot as its official animal, apparently overlooking the small detail that many of its inhabitants have never seen the mythical creature. In August 2018, Bigfoot was spotted in upstate New York crossing a highway. East Texas is home to many reported sightings. The blog post stated, including one particular encounter from a hunter in Panola County. The witness claims while he was hog hunting, he watched a Sasquatch leap out of the woods, grabbing one of the hogs. The report states that the Bigfoot began making loud whooping noises, which were met with more howls from somewhere off in the distance. Before walking back into the woods, the creature stared directly at the hunter and growled. Although these states can claim the most sightings, Bigfoot has been spotted everywhere, including in those delightful Jack Link's beef jerky commercials. In February, hunters in Provo, Utah claimed they spotted the Sasquatch in the mountain range, capturing the encounter on video. He's also been spotted several times in North Carolina, and one small town in the Tar Heel state also named Bigfoot as its official animal. And now I'm going to read some true Bigfoot encounter stories. It's been about 6 or 7 years, and the area has grown where this happened. I was camping at Lost Lake in Oregon and doing the usual hike around the area. I came to a little creek crossing and small ravine about 200 yards behind the local store, and found myself gazing at what appeared to be a fallen tree with a broken stump around 6 feet up and some odd features in it. Dark features that kind of resembled eyes and arms coming across the leg, like if you were to sit over your feet in a crouched position. It was about 3 p.m., so the effects could have been from lighting and the trees. Either way, I thought it looked cool and wanted to go get my camera. I placed a pile of rocks directly across from it and ran literally and got my camera. Upon arriving back at the location, about 15 minutes later, I noticed my pyramid of rocks was knocked over, and when I looked across the way, there was nothing. No fallen tree, no branches, nothing worth taking a picture of. I searched around the area thinking I was looking from the wrong angle, but the only thing right across the way could not have in no way been what I was looking at. A few days later, back in Portland, the news said that there had been a report of a Bigfoot in that area. I have never gone camping there again. My wife and I were on vacation visiting different sites around the southern edge of Mount Hood off of Highway 35. We came across a sign for the Barlow Road U.S. Forest Service Road 3530 and decided it would be fun to drive into the woods and perhaps see some of the wagon ruts. We drove to the edge of a clearing just north of a deserted campground and stopped to take a look around. Just after getting out of the car, we noticed an extremely large pile of fresh droppings, about 10 feet from where we had parked. My wife, who has had experience hunting bears, elk, and other large animals, commented that the droppings looked odd and did not look like bear or elk droppings. They were more human in appearance, but way too large for a person to have made. After a few minutes of looking around, we both noted that we no longer heard any other animal noises of any sort. It seemed way too quiet. We had been visiting sites within a few miles of this place all day, and this place really stood out as being eerily quiet. It was at this moment that my wife stated that it felt like we were being watched. I agreed. The whole environment just seemed really strange. We both got an extremely creepy feeling and decided to just run around and leave. It was such a relief to be back in the car and moving up the road. We both laughed out loud and shouted how creepy the whole thing was. Then my wife confessed to me that just before we left, she had seen something watching us from across the meadow. A 100 foot or so away, she said that it had reddish brown fur, was moving on two legs. Just after she saw it, it started heading away from us and back into the forest. She only saw it for a few seconds before it was already back into the trees and out of sight. She was sure it was not a bear based on her experience on hunting trips with her family. My Granny Pearl lived on a dirt road up the hill from Highway 35 in the town of Mount Hood, I guess about 15 miles or so from Hood River, Oregon. I think it was either 1981 or 1982, and I was born in '69. My Uncle Doug let me ride Babe, his mare, up to Bald Butte. I was pretty sure my cousin James was the one with me, but I heard a head injury to James had rendered his memory poor. Anyway, this was our plan. Ride up there, have Coco ride back. Well, we soon realized that wasn't going to happen because we saw light would be gone by the time we made it to the top. We decided to get off the horse and drink cocoa that was in our thermos. One of us tied the horse. We were about Bone Ditch, but below Bald Butte. It was on a hillside. There was still enough light to see, but it was getting near time to go, and Babe looked across the hill, and her eyes got huge as she reared back trying to get loose. I looked where her eyes were, looking, and maybe 50 yards away or so, this huge hairy man took one step towards us. Maybe he was just walking, then turned 180 degrees and walked away, as if he cared less. I was so damn scared, I'm trembling now as I recall this. I untied the horse, and we ran as fast as we could. When we got back to Granny's, I told my mom, but she didn't believe me. The room I stayed in at her house had a door with a window in it facing Bald Butte. Nightmares for years about this. For years, I only said I saw a hairy man, but it was a Bigfoot.